Okay, it says we're live. So let's adjust the camera a little bit here. We're out here in the garage on my messy bench with my Prusa i3 Mark II, or Mark 2.5, not a Mark III. The other day I was printing some PETG, and there's my print. I know it's beautiful. So I stayed and watched the first layer go down, and it looked really good. And then I went inside, had dinner, came back out, and yeah, that's what I had. So the print had just ended. The part was cool, but I hit the menu and heated the thing back up, and I was able to slowly, carefully pull this glob off without ripping any wires loose, because the hot end still gets hot and it still extrudes. But I don't know if you can tell, but the thing's all crooked. So what happened is the Pinda has been acting up for quite a while on this. It would home and it would print, but if I did a tall print and then I tried to bring it back down to print something else, sometimes it would hang up during the homing procedure. And so after I recovered the glob, I tried to rehome it and get it going again, and it didn't want to do anything. So right now I'm in the process of cleaning it up. So I'm going to turn it on and run this up and square the axes back up again. And then we're going to heat it up, eject the PETG that's in there, and purge it out with some PLA. So let's move our axis. So the thing moves. I mean, I can move X or Y. And move Z. I'm just going to go all the way to the top and let it get square. And that'll give me enough room underneath there to look at stuff. So this thing's still rocking the old vertical fan and extruder, and I've never been able to get, when I upgraded this to the Mk2.5S, never been able to get the filament sensor to work. I don't know why. First one I probably wired wrong. They sent me a replacement. It still doesn't work. So so now that's been squared. Let me just show you what it does when I try homing this. Get down to 4 millimeters. Okay. So let's go calibrate. And we'll go auto home. So homes X, homes Y, and then it errors out doing the Z. It thinks that the pin is engaged. Now, if I hold the wiring over, it auto-homed that time. So something, I don't know if it's at the box end or at the extruder end, somewhere in there the wiring is getting pinched, the signal's getting through, some connectors loose or whatever. But regardless of that, I need to tear this down because I need to fix the wiring. I want to upgrade this to the new extruder parts. So I've got the revision 5 extruder parts and getting it printing back again. I mean, that's what I was going to do, was print myself a new extruder. And so there goes upgrade plan. So I've cleaned and lubed my rods, did some general preventative maintenance. But let's move this back up. Settings, move axis, move the X, over here somewhere. And move Z up so we've got some room. And if I could keep the, if I could get it to home and let it, and if it would probe the bed, it probably would print like it is right now. But right now we're going to purge the purge the hot end. So let's set the temperature for the nozzle. We want that at 240-ish. Yeah, I'll go to 242. We'll let this heat up, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to grab a little bin to put whatever parts that we take off of it here. These are little drawers from my handy dandy cabinet that I got for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, by the way, all you dads. So we'll wait for this to get up to about 170-ish. And we'll kind of give it a cold pull. And then I've got some PLA. Grab that. There's that. So I've got a little teeny leftover spool of PLA that I keep just for this occasion. So I leave it at PETG temperature, and I'll purge the hot end out, or push some through, pull it back, get it out of there. And we're at 190, and that should be plenty fine to push a little bit through. Yeah, and then pull it back and get that out of there. And we'll shove in some PET or PLA. Oh, and this has been sitting in the garage a while, so it's going to have moisture in it, but that's okay. So we'll push all the PETG out. And I like to purge a bunch. This PETG is really sticky. Yeah, I'm probably blocking your shot here, so you can't see what I'm doing, but we've got gray coming out. Okay, push it through, and we'll whip that back out again. We'll save this gray for another time. Come on, get through the hole. Okay, so now that's done. I'm going to grab my brass brush and give the bottom a little clean. while it's still hot, and then we'll kind of do some troubleshooting here. I gotta get down here. I can try and move you guys a little closer. So you can see what's going on. Let's get this around here. Okay. I don't know if that's any better for you. Oh yeah, you can see that gunky hot end. All right, so not going to get it sparkly clean, but just want to kind of get the big globs off. And that block, yeah, I can tell that block is kind of loose. What you don't want to do is hit the thermistor wires or the heater block wires with the brass brush over on this side where they go into that block, because that will short circuit and that will be the end of that. So get some of that off. And the rest of that is probably going to melt and dribble all over our prints for the next few times. If you're wondering how I clean my brass brush, that is called a little propane torch, and just melt the PETG off of the bristles. Oh, come on. All right. That's probably about as clean as I'm going to get it. Oh, so now we're ready to cool that off, and once it's cool, we'll start disassembling it. So let's do a preheat, cool down. And let that cool off. And let me move you back out of the way here. And while that's cooling off, I can probably turn the printer around a little bit. And we're going to open that, open the box up. Allen wrenches. Okay. I'm going to readjust you here. And I'll try to stay out of the way as much as I can. Let's look at the wiring in here first and see if this is where things are going wrong. Of course, you're on the wrong side. This whole setup's on the wrong side. Okay. Pin to wiring. I think is this connector. She can't see because it's in behind there. That looks right. Looks okay on this end. Let's see if I can set the, while that's cooling, we can go to support. See if you can see that. Yeah, kind of. And yeah, kind of. Okay, support. We go down here to sensor info. And the PINDA, that's 1 0 1 0 1. So if it's 0, yeah, and we wiggle it up here at the back, it's false triggering. So yeah, it's not the wiring down there. So it's something in the PINDA wiring itself. Let me see if I wiggle. Oh, now the PINDA says 1. Yeah, so let's see if we can figure out. Yeah, it looks like it's right here. Well, either it's in the hot end. No, it's right here in the in this bundle. Probably at this connector. I see part of the problem. Let's see. I'm going to tip you sideways. So this screw is not supposed to be backed out like that. That screw, this little plastic piece, is supposed to be pulling this whole assembly in. And so I don't know exactly what happened there. But yeah, so that's a problem. So let me spin this around and we'll take that apart. At least we've kind of narrowed down where the problem is. Paper rag. Okay, so we don't believe it's in the box because, yeah, if I move that wiring around, nothing is happening. So put that all back into there. What else is hanging up here? Okay. So close this back up for now. And we'll disassemble that extruder. And we have to clip all of these guys. This thing's done a ton of printing. I don't know how many hours are on it. I can check though in a second here. All right. Zip ties away. All right. Let's see here. Well, I thought that nut was supposed to be inside there. There's a nut inside there, but why is there a nut on the outside of here? I don't remember that being that way. I have to look up the manuals. Anyway, we got an extra nut here. So if that let this get loose to where, no, this is pinched. Yeah, it's just a bad Pinda cable, I think. So let's pull out the filament sensor. Come on. Okay. Filament sensor wires out. This is supposed to go in here. But shouldn't that thread all the way up to the body? I'll have to check the instructions on that. That seems very, very weird. That bolt's way too long because this is bottomed out in the nut that's embedded in the inside, I think. Okay, so the hot end's cooled down. Now I broke something. Yep, broke the back out of that. That's what I thought. Okay, that's weird. All right. Little piece can go in there. All right, and let's unplug you. We'll undo the top here. We're undoing the top, the filament guidey part. Another screw on the top of that. Okay, so at least we know where the wiring's defunct. I guess I'll have to order a new Pinda 2 probe from Prusa or printed solid. One of the two. Oof. And yeah, it looks like it might be time to replace that PTFE tube liner. Whoa, that is worn. Oh, let me check how many hours is on this thing. Get rid of that. So stats thing on here? We used to. Oh, fail stats or stats. There they are. 143,479.66 meters. 531 days, 2 hours, 41 minutes. Total print time. So, other than, I mean, I haven't even tensioned the belts on this thing since I started it. I've done it was a new hot end when I did the 2.5S upgrade because I had another a failure before, and so I put a new hot end on it, reprinted all the mounts, added the filament sensor, and all that sort of stuff. But since that upgrade, I really haven't done anything other than these pieces had cracked, so I reprinted them in gray, and a fan shroud and a couple other things. But other than that, the thing's been a workhorse, and it's just been printing beautiful this whole time. So, well, now that we know what's wrong, I'm going to end the stream. We're going to order some parts, and we'll get it repaired and get it back up and running. And I'm going to I'm going to try printing my parts on the Zone Star, and we'll see how that turns out. We'll try a small part first and see what that build plate and how the pieces look as far as dimensional sizes go, because this base plate needs replaced. But the whole extruder, this is still the R3 version extruder. So we want to do that update, and I need to order the new IR sensor with the little lever and the ball and all that sort of jazz. So if we're redoing it, we may as well get it working the way it was originally. And we'll see you guys later.